Hey everybody, I'm Dinosaur George. You know, recently I received an email from a young man from Singapore named Shazeb, and he had said that he didn't have access to any really cool dinosaur exhibits and asked if I could take him some pictures of some of the exhibits that I see. I'll do one better for you. What we decided to do is take you on a guided tour through a really cool exhibit that's here in San Antonio. It's called Dinosaur Quest. Get ready to go. This is DGTV. Let's go. Everybody, we're getting ready to go on our tour through Dinosaur Quest. It's going to be a lot of fun. Just to let you know, Jurassic Chip, one of the guys that's worked with me for years on dinosaurs, Chip is running camera today, and he's also going to talk to you. Chip, say hi to everybody. That was hi to everybody. And back behind us is Paleo Paul, one of the most incredible artists. He works here at Dinosaur Quest. He's a remarkable artist. We'll introduce you more to him in a little while, let you see some of his work. All right, everybody, get out your money, because yes, you have to pay to come through this exhibit. It's not free. I'll tell you what, I'll pay for everybody. You guys just mail me a check. I think the entry fee is $800 a person. Paul, is that accurate? Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, I guess now he wants a cut of it. But anyway, let's get ready to go. We'll take you through. This is going to be a lot of fun. You know, one of the things about this museum is you notice that the lighting is a little different. Rather than having the typical, real brightly lit room, they've opted to make the room kind of dark and then highlight the skeletons with special lighting. So it sort of adds kind of a theatrical effect, and I like it. I think it's really kind of cool. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but there's a tremendous amount of sound. There's flat screens everywhere. It's really an interesting concept because it sort of brings these things to life. I don't want you guys to think that when you get to come to an exhibit or a museum, you get a chance to get this close to the pieces, because that's just not realistic. I know the people that have this exhibit, and so they're allowing me to come up and get this close. It's going to give you an opportunity to see some really incredible shots. This animal is Torosaurus. Torosaurus is an amazing dinosaur. Anybody that's ever watched my videos knows I love Asaurus. Torosaurus, as much as it kills me to say, may have been even more powerful and terrifying than my beloved Allosaurus. So this is Torosaurus. So what we'll do is we'll give you guys some incredibly good close-up shots of this, but keep in mind, like I said, for you young people especially, you never can just walk up to a skeleton like this if you're in a museum. You never get the opportunity to do it. You may get the opportunity, that'd be great, but just keep in mind, don't ever run up and go under a barrier to get this close to a skeleton.
Gigolotesaurus was a predatory dinosaur from Argentina. He actually reached 45 feet and weighed as much as 50,000 pounds. He was a very large dinosaur. In fact, he was actually a little bit larger than T-Rex. He got a little bit bigger than T-Rex because he went after the really big prey. He went after things like Gigantsaurus, not very large dinosaur ever found. You have to have a very big predator to go after.
This is a fossil. A fossil is the remains of a living thing from a previous time period. A fossil can be anything from a shell like this to a bone or a tooth, or a fossil can even be a trace of a living thing like a footprint or an impression of a leaf in rock. The funny thing about fossils is that they're not actually shell or bone or tooth anymore. They become mineralized over time. That means all the stuff that was once alive becomes replaced with rock. Scientists who study fossils are called paleontologists. Since dinosaurs aren't around anymore, well, with one exception, we'll get to that later. Everything we know about them comes from their fossils.
Dromaeosaurus were members of the raptor family. They lived in western North America during the late Cretaceous period, about 65 million years ago. They were 3 feet tall at the head, 6 feet long, and weighed 1/2 pounds. Their name means swift lizard. Like all members of the raptor family, Dromaeosaurus had an array of weapons, including recurved serrated teeth, sharp mandibles, and a sickle-shaped killing claw on each foot. When hunting in packs, Dromaeosaurus were capable of attacking and killing prey that were much larger than themselves.
It doesn't matter whether you like dinosaurs or not. Everybody can recognize Stegosaurus. It's an amazing dinosaur. This one's really cool, but I wanted to show you something that's absolutely fascinating about him, and I'll get a close-up in a second. These plates on his back have always been a mystery about what really was the purpose. Were they designed to defend the creature? Were they designed to act as a way to cool the body down? Right now, most of the evidence points towards it being a feature that is cooling the blood down. What happens is the blood is pumped up into these plates. You can't see it, but we'll try to get a close-up in a minute. What you'll see is these plates are covered with blood vessels, which means a tremendous amount of blood was being brought up to them. That's what gives the idea that they're used to get rid of excess body heat. The blood is pumped up, and when the blood got here, it's closer to the outside temperature, and the heat would dissipate, which means basically it would slowly float away from the body. That's the idea. Here's why I don't really think they were used as defensive weapons. Here's an example. This one has a big circular bite taken out of it, a really big bite. Paleontologists studied it, and it appears that it's the exact same shape as the end of the nose of Allosaurus, which was one of the top predators of its time. So an Allosaurus may have taken a bite out of this plate. The bite occurred so quickly, and it was so powerful, it didn't fracture the plate. What generally happens is if something bites really fast, it sort of punches out a hole. If it's a slow bite, it causes cracking in the bone. So we could tell that this happened very quickly. Well, if you have a dinosaur who is biting this plate, then that to me demonstrates it's not a defensive weapon, because why would he ever put his mouth on it? This is a good example of using sort of CSI type of investigation, using clues to help us sort of formulate an idea. And the best idea we've got is that an Allosaurus bit him because the shape matches the snout of Allosaurus. It happened quickly, which means that Allosaurus wasn't taking his time about biting it. He didn't think it was going to cause any problems. He just grabbed it and bit it and broke off a piece. So that's one of the reasons why I don't believe that these plates were used for defense. But anyway, here's your Stegosaurus. He's an amazing guy. He's bigger than most people think. He's a pretty big dude. He's kind of cool because he's got short front legs and these long back legs, and that kind of gives him this sort of thing. The reason why I think he was built that way is because it kept the defense, the big weapons at the end of the tail, kept them higher off the ground so that he had more room to swing them. So that's him. Hope you enjoy it. Let's keep going.
This is Momentosaurus. He's one of my favorite dinosaurs because he belongs to a family of dinosaurs called sauropods. Sauropods are the classic big long neck, long tail, wide body, elephant-like legs. They're the dinosaurs that you see when people talk about dinosaurs. Sauropods are unique in the fact that they got so big. These animals could grow to gigantic lengths. The biggest dinosaur that ever existed on this planet was a sauropod named Argentinosaurus. Now, he was huge. He was a little bit bigger than Momentosaurus back here, but bear in mind, this Momentosaurus He's a baby. He's not even full grown yet. So by the time he's full grown, from the tip of his nose all the way down to his tail, he's going to be over 65 feet long.
Chasmosaurus is a ceratopsian, and I love ceratopsians. They're really kind of cool. What kind of differentiates Chasmosaurus from other ceratopsians that most of you recognize is the design of the frill. He's got relatively short brow horns. We call these brow horns. They're the ones that you find over the eye. He's got relatively short brow horns. They're thick, but the real distinctive difference between this and, say, Triceratops, one that everybody recognizes, is that he's got these big holes in there. There are some paleontologists that believe that those holes, that you couldn't see them very well because the thin layer of skin connected them. We don't really know because, unfortunately, they've never found a Triceratops that's been fossilized with skin impressions, at least not one where they found the skull. So leaves us to wonder whether the holes were there and you could see them, or whether or not they may have had a thin layer of skin. Somebody proposed that it would be an ideal place for a false eye. And what I mean by that is if you've ever seen fish or you've ever seen some caterpillars, butterflies, they have what looks like a gigantic eye that makes them look more dangerous than they really are. And it's possible that if there was a bright patch of skin here, it would basically act as a second set of eyes. It wouldn't function as eyes, but it would basically scare a predator. It's kind of cool. Don't know if it's true or not, but it doesn't matter. Still a cool idea. But this is Chasmosaurus, and he's a ceratopsian. He's cool.
They ate ferns, horsetails, and busy conifers. Stegosaurus was the size of a bus, its head was the size of a horse, and its brain was only the size of a walnut.
Behind me is called the Hall of Skulls, and it's really kind of cool because you've got skulls from prehistoric animals that range all over the time scale. There are Ice Age mammals in here, there are some modern animals in here, and there are, of course, dinosaurs. So let's go in, take a look around the Hall of Skulls, and I'll show you some of that. And let's go. It's cool. All right, here's the big mystery. People always ask me about Gigantasaurus. It's not Gigantasaurus. The name of this gigantic predator is Giganotosaurus. I know when you first look at it, you would think gigantic dinosaur, Gigantasaurus. Not true. His name is Giganotosaurus, but I will tell you this. I have read countless numbers of books where they incorrectly identify it and call it Gigantosaurus. Very frustrating because when you're writing a book, you would think you would be doing all the research necessary. But this is Giganotosaurus. This is the dinosaur that some paleontologists believe is larger than Tyrannosaurus rex. But I'll tell you, there is a very distinctive difference between this dinosaur and T-Rex. If you've ever seen a Tyrannosaurus skull, the first thing that you notice difference-wise is the size and shape of the teeth. Giganotosaurus has some pretty nasty sharp teeth, but they're very thin and blade-like. Tyrannosaurus has these gigantic round teeth that were much more powerful, much more robust. This guy could bite, inflict a wound, and then back off. Tyrannosaurus rex is really sort of more designed to bite, grab you, shake you, crush you, rip you to shreds. He's a much bigger dinosaur, much more dangerous in my opinion. But anyway, this is Giganotosaurus' skull. Pretty big dude. Well, he's a really big guy when you look at him. He's cool, but he ain't the king. I told you there's a lot of motion and movement going on in this museum, and there is. Behind me on this big screen, they show images from Jurassic Fight Club, so I'm kind of honored that they do that. That's kind of cool. But there's something else that I really like about DinoQuest, and that is the people that work here. I've got a couple of really good friends that work here. One guy is Clayton, Clayton Nye, the dino guy. Clayton is a very good friend of mine. The other is an artist named, we call him Paleo Paul. Paul is an incredible artist. This guy does remarkable work. And if you ever get to come to Dinosaur Quest, as you walk around, you'll see a lot of drawn images of some of the dinosaurs. Paul is the one that did all those images. So let me go find him, and I'd like to ask him some questions and let you guys get a chance to meet him. Let's go.
Hey, I'm Paleo Paul. I work here at Dinosaur Quest. I'm one of the experts here at the exhibit, so I basically have the funnest job in the entire world. I get to talk about dinosaurs all day long. I get to look at dinosaurs all day long. But one of the other things I do here is I restore dinosaurs. What that means is I do all of the artwork for the exhibit. I draw and paint dinosaurs to give people here an idea of what the dinosaurs look like. And I also do some work for my website. What I really love to do is I have an art background. So I really love to picture what dinosaurs looked like alive. Skeletons are one thing, but to really see what they were like when they were alive, you have to draw them, you have to paint them. One of the ways I like to do that is I really have a good knowledge of anatomy. One of the things we study is not just dinosaur anatomy and dinosaur bones, but we study the anatomy of living creatures. It's called comparative anatomy, and we use that to kind of fill in the blanks about what we do or don't know about the way dinosaurs looked. You might not know this, but there are a lot of great resources out there. The zoo is a great place to go to look at things that were similar to dinosaurs, especially the big flightless ground birds like ratites. You might have heard of ratites before. Emus, ostriches, rheas, cassowaries. Those birds are probably the closest thing we have to living dinosaurs today. And so they're really great to look at as far as anatomy. And then when I'm drawing some of the smaller meat-eating dinosaurs, we also know that they were probably feathered. So I use those birds to sort of determine maybe how they might have looked. Well, if you're interested in becoming an artist and doing what I do, there are a few things you can do. First of all, draw and paint as much as you can. I draw every single day. That's the most important thing. I know it's said all the time, but practice really does make perfect. So it's not just a cliche, it really is a meaningful strategy for learning how to draw. So every chance that you get, draw, draw, draw. The other thing you can do, of course, is try to draw from observation. Try to draw what you see. It's a good practice to draw from your imagination, but I really like to learn especially things about shadow and light from what I see around me. That's really important when I draw my dinosaurs because that really makes them look 3D and real. Now, I went to art school. Actually, I went to both undergraduate and I went to graduate school to become a fine artist. You don't have to do that to really learn how to draw and paint, but it really does help if you practice as much as you can. So if you want to check out some of my dinosaur artwork, be sure to visit paulheaston.blogspot.com. There you can also comment on the artwork that I put up. As soon as I do a new drawing, I like to put it up there as fast as possible so you can always see what I'm working on next.
All right, you guys, that is your tour of DinoQuest, located here in San Antonio, Texas, in River Center Mall. It's an amazing place. You'll love it. The sights, the sounds. This is really a remarkable exhibit. It's not like your typical museum where everything is kind of quiet. That's not the way this place works. So Bring your family. You'll love it. It's good for any age. We'll put the address and the phone number and website on our video so that you know how to contact them. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked meeting Paleo Paul Houston, an incredible artist. While you're here, make sure to ask for him or ask for Clayton Nye, my other friend that works here. Thank you guys so much. Hope you enjoyed this. If you've got a museum or someplace you'd like to see highlighted, send me an email. Visit my website, dinosaurgeorge.com. While you're there, follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Have a great holiday, everybody. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.